Assalamualaikum and a very good day. We are from Group 3 and today we will be presenting on the ethics of cloning humans for medical research. I am Ayuni Hani binti Hasan and I will be presenting introduction. So, ethics is a fundamental part of science because it ensures that scientific progress benefits society without harming human dignity. An area where ethical concerns are especially important is human cloning. There are two main types of human cloning, reproductive and therapeutic. Reproductive cloning aims to create a full human being and is widely considered unethical. In contrast, therapeutic cloning focuses on creating embryos to produce stem cells that can help treat diseases like Parkinson's, diabetes, and heart disease. While this technology offers major medical benefits, it also raises serious ethical issues. The biggest concern is that it involves creating and destroying human embryos, which leads to question about when life begins and how much moral respect embryos deserve. There are also fears that even limited use of cloning might eventually lead to unethical practice, such as reproductive cloning, designing babies based on traits, or using cloning for commercial purposes. Because of these concerns, it's essential that cloning is used responsibly and governed by strict ethical guidelines that respect human life and prevent misuse. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nur Akira. Now let's take a look on human cloning and ethical issue. Well, human cloning. What is human cloning? It means creating a genetic copy of a human or their cell. There are two types, which is reproductive cloning, which aim to create a new individual, and therapeutic cloning, which focuses on stem cell to treat disease. The main method used is somatic cell nuclear transfer, or for short, SCNT. However, ethical concern arises because therapeutic cloning involves creating and then destroying embryos for research. This raises a serious questions. When does life truly begins? Is it right to use human life just for experiment? Many fear that this could lead to treating life as an object or tool, which challenges basic moral values. Moving on to importance and ethical debate. Despite the ethical concern, cloning has important scientific benefit. It supports organ transplant, helps treat serious diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and even enables personalized medicine tailored to individual patients. But ethical debate remain urgent. Public opinion is still divided, and cloning technologies can be misused, like in full human cloning. That's why we need a strong laws and ethical guideline. Also, with the rise of tools like CRISPR, the line between innovation and misuse become even more blurred. So it is critical to keep this discussion active as the science evolves.
My name is Nurul Izzati, and I will present two important case studies in cloning and stem cell research. First, Dolly the sheep. In 1996, at the Roslin Institute in Scotland, scientists Anne Wilmot successfully cloned the first mammal from an adult somatic cell using a technique called somatic cell nuclear transfer, SCNT. Out of 277 attempts, only Dolly survived, showing how difficult the process was. Unfortunately, Dolly developed health issues like arthritis and signs of early aging, raising concerns about the long-term health of clones. Ethically, Dolly's creation sparked fears of human cloning, concerns about loss of individuality, and debates about whether cloning turns life into a commodity. As a result, many countries moved to ban human cloning. The second case is human embryonic stem cell research. In 2013, at Oregon Health and Science University, scientist Masahito Tachibana used SCNT to create human embryonic stem cells. These cells can become any human cell type, offering incredible potential for regenerative medicine, from treating Parkinson's and diabetes to repairing spinal cord injuries. However, this success brought serious ethical concern about Creating these stem cells involves the creation and destruction of human embryos. This sparked deep debates over whether it is moral to use early human life for research, leading to ongoing societal division about the limits and boundaries of medical science. In summary, both cases not only advance science but also force society to confront tough ethical questions about life, identity, and the future of medicine.
Now, let's take a look at the therapeutic cloning from utilitarian perspective. While utilitarianism focuses on maximizing overall good, in this case, cloning is considered ethical if it leads to major benefits like curing disease and reducing human suffering. Therapeutic cloning has real medical potential. It can help treat conditions like Parkinson's and diabetes by generating patient-specific stem cells, minimizing the risk of rejection. Since early-stage embryo lack consciousness, many utilitarians argue their use is morally acceptable if it results in significant health benefits for others. When we weigh benefits against harm, the overall gain, improving lives and advancing medicine, tends to outweigh the ethical concerns. However, the risks do exist, especially if the cloning is done without proper regulation. That's why the responsible oversight is necessary. In conclusion, utilitarianism support therapeutic cloning when it helps the greater good and is ethically managed.
From the ontological view, Kantian ethics holds that creating and destroying embryos, regardless of medical benefits, is morally permissible. The ontological ethics, or Kantian ethics, focuses on the morality of actions themselves, not their outcomes. Human embryos created for therapeutic cloning are treated as means to an end, which violates their intrinsic dignity. Moral duties are absolutes, so potential life-saving outcomes do not justify violating the duty to respect early human life. Scientific research must respect all forms of human life, including using embryos as tools, undermines their moral status and is ethically wrong.
Moving on to virtue ethics. Virtue ethics is a moral philosophy that focuses on the development of a virtuous character as the foundation for ethical behavior. A virtue ethical scientist pursuing somatic cell nuclear transfer on human embryonic stem cells research might articulate a personal and lab-wide virtues charter committing to respect all human life and dignity, practice humility in claims, methods, and moral judgments, and exercise caution through transparent stepwise and collaborative oversight. Here are some real-world examples of regulatory and oversight mechanisms for somatic cell nuclear transfer. In the UK, the Human Fertilization and Embryology Authority requires fertility clinic or research projects involving human embryos to obtain a license to maintain a standard in the research. Opt-in informed consent is a guideline requirement that explicitly opt-in consent process for oocyte donors, making clear that participation is voluntary and limited to specified procedures. Last but not least, extending the embryo research limit. The HFEA recommended extending the statutory day limit to 28 days to keep pace with scientific advances while maintaining ethical oversights.
I'm Maisara and I'll be presenting the conclusion. Therapeutic cloning has great potential to treat diseases and push medical boundaries, but it also raises serious ethical concerns. Different ethical views give us different answers. Utilitarianism supports it for the greater good. Deontology insists on respecting all life, and virtue ethic reminds us to proceed with care and humility. Without proper regulation, we risk turning human life into a commodity and losing public trust. That's why strict oversight is essential. Through ethical guidelines, transparency, and global cooperation. And we're left with this final question: how far should we let science go in healing? And at what cost to the sanctity of life? That's it. Thank you.